Here he comes. Hang on. Toe drag's gorgeous. The opportunity out in front. Oh, my God. Can you believe it? Goodbye. Good night. Game over. He's got a flair for the dramatic.
Welcome to the Hockey Players Club podcast. Brought to you by HockeyPlayersClub.com, where hockey players from around the world connect for one-of-a-kind content and quality products at unbeatable prices. Like the brand new HPC X1X hockey stick, made of 100% 18K Diamond Light carbon fiber, completely redesigned and only weighing 375 grams, the X1X delivers all the performance and durability of the most elite sticks on the market, but for $100 less.
Let's see what this man thinks.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Hockey Players Club podcast. Brandon Rubio, Matt Schwartz, Kyle Kittleberger, Kevin Custrin, and we got a loaded show for you up front today. So a lot to talk about, including a coach's brawl going on in the massively popular FPHL. Covering some 3 stars of the week. We'll do Nhl Weekly Picks, and of course, win Kyle's money at the end. And we go international for the first time this year with the contestant from Win Kyle's Money. So stay tuned for more there, folks.
Kinky.
But
God, I hope he wins.
I hope he drowns your ass.
Everyone's a critic.
Drowns your ass in some battery acid. Moving on.
It's aggressive.
How we feeling tonight, gentlemen? We feeling loose? Maddie, you just come from the driving range?
Aside from having coronavirus, living in my girlfriend's parents' basement.
I thought you looked a little green. Is that a true statement?
I'd say I'm swell.
Okay. Wow. Good for you.
Dodged a heart attack on the Monday after daylight savings. I still have 2 more hours.
Oh, to have a heart attack?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey. We'll try to stretch you out. How was your night last night? Good? You look a little green. You might have corona.
I definitely have corona.
Okay, moving on. We don't want to dwell too much on the negative here. How are you two over here? Kyle, you feeling all right?
I'm fucking exhausted. That's what I am. But it was my own doing because I had a men's league game late last night. So I didn't get to bed. And then, of course, with the daylight savings time switch, when that alarm went off at 6 a.m., and I was like, fuck, it still feels like 5 a.m. This is no good.
No bueno.
It was rough. It was rough this morning.
Everyone can relate.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Yeah, I'll turn it off.
Hey, you're going to turn the heat off?
Oh, I thought there was a jet
we're not in the middle of recording the damn thing. But apparently to a stat that I think Maddie looked up, daylight savings Monday every year, hospitals report a 24% spike in heart attacks, which is why we're making the jokes about it, which is an interesting stat. And you didn't know you were going to come here and get educated about your health, but here we are.
Why is that? Why do you think?
Lack of sleep, I guess.
It's going to lead to heart attack?
I think it's people that think they gave themselves enough time for stuff and look at their phone and go, oh, shit! And then have a fucking heart attack.
See? I like that working theory better. That's a good one.
Just drop dead right there.
They're not tired. I don't have time for
I've
anything.
had plenty of time to pick my kid up from that park by herself. Shit. Punch your ticket right there.
Probably shouldn't be leaving their kid in the park alone to do that.
That's a separate conversation, all right? We in the park had an understanding.
Yeah.
But did anyone see the goddamn coaches brawl and the players brawl in this FPHL game, which is the Federal Prospects Hockey League? For those of you who don't know, I knew all about it before I looked into this article. But a wild brawl that included coaches throwing down and almost fighting, and then one coach fighting multiple players on the ice. What do we think of it, gentlemen?
It was completely absurd, especially the second clip that you found that you were showing us earlier, where you see the coach on the bench and he's fighting players from the other team and they're ripping his dress shirt over his head. Like, it's just fucking crazy.
But at one point, I don't remember exactly what it is, but you see the player taunting the coach on the ice. And I remember, I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, wouldn't you love just be able to be, like, mic'd in there to know what's being said? Like, what is possible? I've been pissed at another coach and another team, I guess. Never had words with him, never taunting him. It seems a little intense.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It is the first time I've ever seen a player challenge a coach by like dropping his mitts while they're both standing on the ice.
Yeah.
I was really hoping they were going to let the coaches fight because they both took their coats off.
Yeah.
They clear a little circle.
Yeah.
They're both dressed the same. They're in shoes. Just go at it.
Fucking crazy.
That would have been great.
But I love how the coach runs back. Like he's kind of ushered away, and then the players start getting into it. And a guy on the other team is just feeding one of his players on the bench.
The ref turns his attention, then he runs back in.
Yeah, and then he runs back in.
And I think he catches a right away when he runs back on the bench from the dude.
Well, if he ever gets back to coaching that team, and he's allowed to, he will definitely have the players' respect.
If he's
Coach
allowed
has
back
our
on that bench, holy shit.
Yeah, they've got a whole different level that they're looking for over there.
Which one was worse though? Was the pro fight bad, or that you said the amateur fight, the coach
That
fighting
one
the
was
ref?
so ridiculous.
Yes, it did. How
So-
do you lose against someone in shoes when you have skates on?
That's what I thought too. It's like,
Question number one.
why is the ref down? The guy's wearing shoes out there.
Did you share this one on the
Yeah, so I think that this is more extraordinary. Like you wouldn't expect to see a youth hockey coach fighting a ref during a youth hockey game on the ice. Like maybe in the Fed League, you've grown accustomed to
Some
those slap
shenanigans.
shot
Definitely.
type battles. But dude, this is it's fucking embarrassing all around. There's the view that we shared where the coach is leaving the ice. He gets kicked out probably for saying stuff that he shouldn't to a ref in a peewee game.
Yeah.
The ref tries to get him to leave. He's walking off on the ice, turns back around, approaches the ref. Apparently he spits in his face.
The coach did.
Yes, and then that's where the ref pushes him down to the ice. The guy gets up, grabs him, and just starts feeding the ref. Gotta love that the Pee Wee players were tapping their sticks while it's going on.
Yeah.
And then Rube showed me a different angle today, coming a camera view from the stands where the parents were yelling, and the parents are just feeding the coach as he's getting off the ice. MFing him. And even from the parents' standpoint, like you're using that kind of language in a
the
youth
Pee Wee hockey.
game. It's just kind of craziness.
The blood gets boiling.
And it feeds into I went to a local hockey game this weekend, U18 game.
Okay.
And in that game, there were multiple fights in the stands among parents. A guy got kicked out of the penalty box in the middle of the game for yelling at the refs.
Wait, like not like a guy who got a penalty, like the guy who was working the penalty
Yeah, like
box?
a dad.
There was opening the door.
The penalty box guy. Yeah. Then they're doing an ice cut. We go over to the other side of the ice just to check out the other game. And some woman and two grown adults, a woman and like 5 dudes are back and forth at each other. MFing each other. Your kid's not going to the NHL. Shut the F up. And I brought my girlfriend with me. I'm like, yeah, welcome to hockey. Welcome to youth hockey in America.
That's unbelievable. At the end of the day, let's be honest. Can we set a little bit of an example for our kids? Not to get up on my high horse here, but holy shit, what do you expect these kids to get older and have their kids do?
I thought this was America.
Shit in, shit out at the end of the day.
We've said it before. It'd be great if parents had to like almost sit behind glass and they couldn't scream or yell at the refs or the
Silent
coaches,
room.
and it was just totally silent.
They get their own little like igloo. Have you ever seen those things that people take to outdoor events sometimes where it's like their own individual tent and
Yeah.
a chair and it's like fully enclosed? They have to sit in those things. Everyone gets their own little pod.
Weird turn.
All right. Okay, we can move on.
Well, to better
Well,
youth
yeah, I was
hockey.
gonna say, to
I was gonna
Better
say
youth hockey.
better
It's not
youth
all
hockey.
youth hockey is complete dog shit.
Well, when you threw a stat out there that this Minnesota high school hockey tournaments, its attendance numbers actually beat all of the NHL games on Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the attendance for hockey games in NHL arenas on Friday night, just to give you a few. St. Louis at New Jersey, 14,000 and change. Toronto at Anaheim, 15,000 and change. Chicago at Detroit, 19,515. The Minnesota AA state semifinals at the Xcel Energy Center had 19,899 sold out.
Yeah, it's awesome.
If you guys remember last year, Matt and I were out there for the Let's Play
Yeah.
Hockey Expo, which is at the same
Oh, yeah,
time as
yeah.
this. And it was just, you're in the high school hockey mecca, right? I mean, other parts of the world are like, parts of Toronto and other parts have their special part. But like for high school hockey, this is it.
Yeah.
And just seeing how many people are coming in for this stuff, It's awesome. And the level of play, I remember him and I were having a beer after the Expo at one point, just watching the games on TV because they play them locally. You're like, holy shit, these boys can play.
Yeah, I mean, for hockey to look good on TV, you really have to be good because TV can make it kind of look ugly because of what you're kind of used to watching.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And these guys can straight up play. And, like, their highlights from the games are all over the internet, like big-time hits, big-time goals. Hill Murray defeated Eden Prairie in the AA final 4-1. And then I don't know if you guys saw the A game. I don't know how to... Matamidi defeated Hermantown, but it was an overtime goal.
That's
and
sweet.
It was like electric. The place just went nuts. Some pictures in the locker room after the game are like thing of legends. It was their first state championship.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
It doesn't get any. That kid has lived his best day of his life. The guy that scored that goal.
All downhill from here.
Hey, kid. Congratulations, but I got to tell you, it's all downhill from here.
And as some may know, like it's definitely a showcase for hockey hair because every game, their first game, they introduce the players and they come out from the goal line to the blue line with their helmets off, and there's a camera right in their face, and so all the kids sort of take it as an opportunity to. It's like their shining moment.
Yeah.
And they all grow out their hair and style it in a different way.
Crazy
and, like,
mullets.
Yeah. Throw a
afros.
wing, sort of like shake their head. The one kid did a snowplow this year coming in. Last year, a kid wiped out. It's just awesome. The whole event is pretty sweet.
I love the guy with the fro, though, that resembled a young Ogie Oglethorpe.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
That was a good one.
the hair literally looked just like it.
Yeah.
Like him. It was
A
amazing.
trying year for this young man.
I think that's actually what the caption was on the Instagram post.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
All right, moving on to the big leagues here, boys. NHL put their 3 stars of the week out. And for about the first time this year, the 3rd star was Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers. No, that's not correct. I think he's on here every goddamn week. And let's see, he was packing 4 goals, 4 assists for 8 points over a 3-1 record for the week. And he's like we said, we haven't done that yet, but he's up to 110 points at this point.
Yeah, pedestrian year he's having.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Especially because I think, McDavid's at 96 or 94? I'm looking it up, but I should be quicker on this. 96. The fact that he's 14 points ahead of second place says something. But, I don't even know what else we could possibly say about the guy at this point. He's a 3-star every single week.
He's very, very good. He played the hockey good.
You know, I was talking to some guys and asked them, I think we may have talked about it on the last pod, like who does he remind you of, a former player?
Yeah.
Someone mentioned Datsuk, which is interesting. He might not be as silky, but the build and the look.
The shoulders.
Yeah.
The square shoulders, I could see it a little bit.
He's a pretty
He's
style.
bigger than Datsuk. Datsuk wasn't that big. He was strong, but
Yeah.
Datsuk wasn't that big of a guy.
Those blocky motherfuckers.
He is, yeah. He's like a Lego.
I think that's what it said in the scouting report.
Yeah.
Built like a Lego.
Built like a Lego.
Great player. He
Get-
looks like he was made of bricks.
Get low on him. 2nd star of the week, Gabriel Landeskog for the Colorado Avalanche. Had 3 goals, 5 assists over 4 games played. And Colorado Avalanche making a late push. And Landeskog's had a solid year this year, boys.
He has, and I'm just a fan of this past week. He really looked like a hockey player. I don't know if you noticed. Broken nose. He's got the little extended visor on right now, but he's got the big schnoz and
You're not getting laid wearing that thing.
the bandage across the nose. What are you talking about? That man rocket of a Swede. That guy gets laid.
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
He's throwing him
He's
off.
doing okay.
But yeah, I mean, he just continues to produce. He's just a workhorse too. So Gabriel Landeskog, he's hot right now.
A guy that you don't hear much about,
Yeah?
but just gets it done.
You don't see him out at the clubs throwing ones in the air, nothing like that. 1st star of the week went to Mika Zibanejad of the New York Rangers, and why not? He played in 3 games, 7 goals, including a 5-goal effort.
That was awesome.
Including the game winner in overtime. That was just an unbelievable back-and-forth game. But what do we think of the week for Mika?
Yeah, awesome for Zibanejad. In that game especially, because I caught a little bit of that against the Caps. And it was just absurd, the fact that it was back and forth the way that it was. Then for Ovi to tie it up late. For Zibanejad, what a pass from Panarin to fucking feed him for that breakaway. And he buries 5th goal, overtime game winner. Everybody piles off the bench. Sam Rosen loses his mind on the fucking Rangers goal call.
It's a great call.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was fucking fantastic. So good for Zibanejad. That's a guy who's just slowly gotten better and better through his last couple of years, especially since he got traded to the Rangers. And just putting it with Panarin this year, you're really seeing his potential come out.
Yeah, and I feel like, at least for myself, I kind of underestimated how much skill he really has. I mean, that guy can shoot a puck. 39 goals right now.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, for me, he just dresses such an ugly game.
He really does.
I mean, he just dresses a terrible game. And hard for me to like a player like that, but I sure as hell respect him.
Man, how does he not at least get one apple in that series? Throw up 7 goals, 0 apples. But Kyle, you probably knew this. I looked at the trade with Ottawa.
Yeah, I know it was Derek Brassard was part of that. I forget the other pieces.
7th round pick.
Okay.
Wow. That's
That
a steal
is-
of a trade.
Yeah, that is not a good trade for Ottawa.
No.
I didn't realize he was a 6th overall pick either, so living up to the hype.
You just figure he'd move to New York, maybe get a little more fashion sense, and dress a better game.
Yeah, they're not going to have more height than anybody, but Mika Zibanejad and Artemi Panarin have really become a great pair. I'm with you there. On a somber note, NHL legend Henri Richard died at the age of 84. He was brother to Maurice Rashard, nicknamed the Pocket Rocket. And he also probably holds a record that will never be broken, and that is 11 Stanley Cups.
In 20 seasons. That's pretty good.
Insane.
back?
Yeah.
What?
Do we need to go back?
No.
People don't listen to this shit anyway. It really is insane when you look at his numbers and what he did. And also, I know I mentioned to you guys, I'll have to ask John and Judy, my billets back in Markham. They had this unbelievable box set of VHSs of the legends of the game. And I remember there was a long episode specifically dedicated to him. And because not only, he never really obviously got the notoriety of his older brother, but yet was such a consistent performer, centered that line for many, many years and won 11 cups. And was known definitely for his leadership, was the captain of the team for many years, and even afterwards took on an ambassador role with the Canadians for years and years after. So true legend. I don't know if a lot of younger kids even get that anymore. When we were growing up, you kind of still knew about the Richards, Bellevaux, I don't know, Bobby Halls. There were certain guys that not only were they phenomenal players, but they also had this class and however you want to describe it.
Yeah.
But,
Aura.
yes, but sadly missed. No doubt.
Yeah, they were great ambassadors for the game.
Yeah.
You guys have to do me a favor real quick and click on the link in our notes and tell me that this guy doesn't look like Doug Flutie.
I could see the results.
I did a Google search and it's all over the internet. That picture looks like fucking Doug Flutie.
That one does for sure.
Yeah.
That one looks like Doug.
That's
Flutie. I'll give you
crazy.
that one.
I don't see it.
Illegitimate father of Doug Flutie? No. Hilarious.
Well, they're both short.
He did it. Flutie did it. Okay. Well, speaking of somber notes, the coronavirus being a big topic right now, the NHL has kind of put some steps in place to help combat that, including closing dressing rooms to the media. And it's something that's a big topic right now and is causing a lot of worry and panic in the streets, as they say. Gentlemen, what do we think? You think they're going to take any other steps? Because let's be honest, hell, they're doing everything from closing college campuses to quarantining countries, for Christ's sake. So...
Everyone's freaking out everywhere about the virus, and the NHL is no different. They're definitely trying to get ahead of it. But I guess it's a good thing for the San Jose Sharks that it doesn't look like they're making the playoffs this year, because I know they've already come out and said that people of San Jose should not be part of any large group gatherings. That's not safe. And the Sharks are we're not canceling any games. We're not going to do that. So watch out if you're trying to go to any Sharks games right now, I'd say. But this is definitely something that people are worried about everywhere. Travel is down all over the world. Trips canceled all over the place. Everybody's got their panties in a twist about it. But, I mean, I guess that's what you have to do. You've got to try to be proactive about it and take whatever steps, even if it's small as we're not going to let the media in, we're going to do it in conference rooms. Just smart steps like that to, try to keep it, the fans and the players and all the staff and everybody healthy.
I just hope it doesn't turn into Italy right now. They're potentially going to play soccer games without fans in the stands.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be kind of.
I mean, you got to play the game.
You got to play the game, I guess, but that's gonna be a little weird to watch.
They do have it in here that it's been discussed playing in empty arenas as a worst case scenario.
Yeah, I've heard speculation that they've already decided that the March Madness Final Four will be empty stadium, which would be crazy. And,
The F up out me, dog.
and I know the one league, I forget the one league. I think it's like one of the Swedish leagues. They canceled their games for.
Oh, I think it was the Swiss league.
Yeah, the Swiss league.
Yeah.
So I really hope it doesn't come to that. At the very minimum, I hope they at least play. And I'd wonder if the home team could still play fan audio, to get the hometown advantage.
Like speaker in the fans, you're saying the cheers.
It's nuts here.
Time to get loud.
All zero fans on their feet.
Any of you guys catch the NBC and Sportsnet broadcast that used an all-female crew the other day?
I didn't watch the game. Did catch some highlights. I mean, that's just not a game I typically.
Any thoughts on it? It was
watch.
obviously a barn burner.
I mean, I watched a little of the game last night, and it was interesting when I first turned it on. The very first thing, obviously, I heard was the play-by-play, and I was like, oh, it's a female announcer. And then I realized for International Women's Day that NBC and Sportsnet were both using all-female broadcast crews, not only play-by-play, color, and rinkside, but also everybody behind the scenes as well. So that's cool that they're trying to, be more inclusive and get more women involved in the actual televising of the game. I know they've started to use some female officials at certain levels as well. And, we've seen how good a lot of the women's players are as part of the All-Star game and every time the U.S. and Canada play internationally. So there's definitely a lot of talented female players out there, and there's certainly good female professional broadcasters as well. So good on NBC and Sportsnet for showcasing some of that talent.
Two things. I will say they seemed a little awkward when they went to call a fight. Didn't really know how to do that, which makes sense considering there's not fighting in women's hockey.
That's fair. It's not even hit it. Yeah.
And, as long as we keep doing National Women's Day on the shortest day of the year, I think it's appropriate. No?
Oh, Ziga!
Is that going to come back to haunt my political career down the road?
I'm going to cut that.
I kid, ladies. I kid.
Yeah, I mean, I would just hope that it leads to actual permanent bigger roles for women and not just stay a one day of the week, hey, let's do this, and then forget about it for another, 364 days.
Well, that was something I actually thought about. The fact that when I turned it on, it was the first thing I noticed. Oh, a female broadcaster because
the
it's
camera's not following the puck.
And it made me think, it's I wonder if there'll ever be a day where you'll hear a female broadcaster and it won't be odd. You'll just be like, oh, this person's calling the game today. Okay.
And I would think so. I mean, considering initially whenever we'd have some of the color commentators on, that was unique. Now you don't even, I mean, personally, I don't even notice it when you hear I'm sorry, I'm bad with the names.
AJ Malesko, I think, is the one you're thinking of. She did a couple, I think, playoff games and stuff last year. I think she's done a handful.
I was wondering,
and also Kendall Coyne has done some stuff also.
I was wondering why the camera had trouble keeping up with the puck for that game. That was weird, but yeah, now it makes sense. I kid. There goes our last female listener right there.
Did you guys see Chris Mason's tweet? I saw you looking it up.
Was that a tweet?
No, I didn't.
Former goalie of the Preds.
Yep.
Now media member. He tweeted, played hockey my whole life. My daughter Quinn had no interest. I coached the NWHL All-Star game last year in Nashville with my girls, and the players were so awesome. Got in the car after the game. Quinn asked, Dad? He said, yeah. And Quinn said, I want to play hockey. And from a dad, that's got to be just the coolest feeling ever when your kid, you don't force them into it, but they say they want to play. And especially when maybe there wasn't that interest before. And I just think that that's so neat. And Brandon and I, being around hockey players a lot around here, there are a shit ton of girls that play hockey in our area, and they are very, very good. And so it's just really awesome to see. And I know that I've even said before, like, I would love to have a daughter that would be into hockey just because I think it's a little less cuckoo, for lack of a better term.
You don't think any of
For
the
now.
parents are fighting the refs on the ice?
Well, I
the
do
girls
think
game?
there is it, but I just think it's a little bit more like perspective because
probably
maybe
is, yeah.
those NHL dreams aren't as, I don't know.
That is true. Every Pee Wee parent, their kid is going to the NHL.
Yeah. And so I just think it's like more of a love for the game and just
That's a
seems
good
more
point.
genuine.
Yeah, it's probably something like that.
That's deep, Matt. That's deep, well thought out, well presented. You feeling all right?
Man, you as deep as a puddle.
I have this chest issue.
Well, what do you think, gentlemen? Should we get into some NHL Weekly Picks?
That or no? I think Kits wants to talk about some of these.
You got something on your mind, kids?
Well, it was something I was thinking about in terms of, we talked last week about the Flyers and the fucking
No, we
ridiculous run that they're on right now. And so it made me look up some of the other teams that are also on really good runs, specifically like the last 10 games. So just to throw some of the good ones out, obviously Philly, 9-1 in their last 10, currently on a 9-game winning streak. The Blues, also 9-1 in their last 10. Avalanche, 8-1-1. The Golden Knights, 8-2-0. Minnesota Wild have gotten themselves all the way up into a wild card spot, going on a 7-3 run. So there's a couple teams all running hot right now. Two that made me laugh, though, that are on really good runs at the moment. One would be the New Jersey Devils, who traded away a ton of guys, have gone 6-2-2 in their last 10. Can't even lose right. And then the Kings, who have won 5 in a row, gone 7-2-1 in their last 10. But they did so much losing earlier in the year, they're still in second to last place. So good job, LA.
And still no one is close to being as bad as the Detroit Red Wings.
Oh, no, they're way at the bottom.
At the other end of the spectrum, Buffalo is 3-7 in their last 10 and they've lost 6 in a row. And I don't know if you guys saw Rasmus Ristolainen on the boards there, that play. I think it was against the Penguins.
Oh, and he got hit by the ghost?
Yeah. Johnson is behind the net. He rims the puck around the wall. And Ristolainen's like on his point, and he goes to the wall to keep the puck in and like throws his body up against it. He must have caught an edge or something, but he goes flying, loses his stick. His stick goes up in the air, and he disappears below the boards. And it was just like, this is the Sabres season summed up in a short little clip.
Yeah.
That team...
You can't even knock a goddamn puck down right.
And it was also funny because he was in that Win Kyle's money question of the worst plus minus
Oh, yeah,
of
that's
all
right.
time.
It was really bad.
God.
Really bad.
And what's crazy with Buffalo is the fact that at the deadline, they were like mini buyers because they had gone on a bit of a run, like picked up Wayne Simmons, got Dominic Cahoon from the Pens, and then they just go in the tank, and they're actually now below the Devils in the standing.
Yeah.
Who they got Wayne Simmons from. Ridiculous.
I don't think anyone would have predicted, though. Well, the one I find really interesting, like you said, is Minnesota, especially when you look at the flip of that. Vancouver has actually gone 3-6-1 in that same span.
Yeah.
And so now Vancouver, they're barely holding on to that last wild card spot where, just a few weeks ago, I think they were either second or third in their division.
Yeah.
And just shows you how quick things can turn in this league. And I think we're all rooting for a team like Vancouver to get into the
I would love it.
the playoffs.
Don't speak for me, Brandon.
I won't. But we want to see all that talent get in there, see Pedersen, what he can do in the playoffs. But
You see that goal the other night?
he did, yeah, from his ass.
Falling off.
Yeah,
Falling
it
down.
was impressive. But
Falling around.
I mean, another team, our hometown team, the Penguins, are actually the worst team in their last 10. Just 2-8.
2-8. Yeah.
They lost 2 in a row. 2 really ugly games at home. A combined, 11-4, I think. It was 6-2 and
5-2.
5-2. Yeah,
You
so
nailed it.
what do you guys think's going on there?
I don't know. Bad that it's all regulation losses, too. Can't even get any loser points out of that.
Yeah.
Like, they're losing tremendously on some of these games where it's just lopsided.
Yeah, they don't have the same structure or the discipline in the system that they did in the first half of the year. And whether it was because they were so hurt and they had a bunch of guys that should be in the AHL, and they're because of that you got to play more system oriented, and now they get everybody back and they don't have that structure anymore. But that's what they're just giving odd man breaks and breakaways up like nobody's business all day.
you think that net is secured by anyone yet? Do we have a starter in Pittsburgh?
I don't
3
think
days
so.
ago I'd say yes, not now.
One thing my dad, Greg Schwartz, was talking about at dinner this weekend was how bad Chris Letang has been. And I take everything my dad says kind of like, yeah, okay. But he is -6. He was a -4 against Washington. -6 in his last 2. A couple of them were kind of, especially the one against Carolina, it was kind of a bad giveaway and then kind of a lazy effort to the net. You need your number one, quote-unquote, Norris defenseman to play better.
You do.
You know, and I mean, I know this is an important time of the year for them. And they're not trending the right way, and they need a guy like him to step it up.
Yeah. That was one of the things that I was thinking of in terms of which teams have been good recently and bad is like, it seems, at least for the last 5-10 years, the teams that really start to get on a run, March into April, those are the ones that end up going on the deep cup runs.
Yeah.
Either win the whole thing or at least, Final Four or something like that. It's always the teams that are trending in the right direction. So that's why it's a little disconcerting to see Pittsburgh going on the downward side of the slope. But I don't know. There's still a little bit of time to turn it around, and I'm hoping that they finally, now that they've gotten some guys back into the lineup, that they can start gelling and getting back to playing the way that they were majority of this season.
So if I were to ask you guys, and you have to answer quickly, what's your cup final, knowing what you know today?
Boston, St. Louis.
Oh, rematch.
In the beginning of the season, I picked Tampa, St. Louis, but right now I'll go Boston.
I'm still sticking with the Golden Knights coming out of the West. I had Toronto, but I don't think Toronto's got enough to get there. I think Tampa shakes off what they did last year, gets themselves back to the Cup, and I'm sticking with the Golden Knights as my Cup winner.
Well, now I got to change mine. I was going to say, I do like the Golden Knights coming out of the West, getting some competition in there with Fleury, plus a little bit of a just high-quality backup that can get in there and steal you games, and Robin Leonard. So I'm going with them coming out of the West right now, and I'm going to go with Boston coming out of the East.
All right, I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go Washington out of the East. And then I think I'm going to go Colorado. I like their team.
That'd be a sweet final.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, especially the fact that they don't even have Rantanen or Grubauer right now.
Are they going to
Yeah.
be
Still
Are they going to be
fucking
available?
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would have said Guinos.
They got to check their schedule and see if
And
they
no
can
one's
fit it
giving
in.
Flyers respect, right? They're playing unbelievable hockey, and they got that goaltender. We'll see.
They really are playing
They
good
are
hockey.
deep in terms of they're deeper than they've been in years past. Because you think about, they still have Giroux and Voracek that are playing at a really high level. And then they've got young guys coming up like Konechny. Couturier's not that young, but still younger side and has really started to come in his own the last couple of years. And then Van Riemsdyk still playing well. And as much as I think the Kevin Hayes signing is still a bad signing and will eventually be one that they're going to be like, ooh, that guy's making too much. He's playing really well this year.
Yeah, Flyers fans and even Ducks fans love the guy that the Flyers got from the Ducks, who played for the Penguins, whose name is escaping me.
Derek Grant.
Derek Grant. They think that guy is like the second coming. And he has put up good numbers since he's been in
That's a Philly
the
name
orange
right
and
there,
black.
Derek
We had
Grant.
that kick assist the other day that was pretty sweet.
That was
sweet.
That was awesome.
Very sweet.
Fuck him anyway.
We'll see. To be honest, I think what's really hard to believe is there's, 13 games, 14 games left, 12 games left in the NHL season total. I can't believe we're getting down to crunch time already.
Yeah, it's not the time of the year that you want to be figuring things out.
No.
It should be a well-oiled machine out there.
Wouldn't it be wild if Patty Marleau comes to the Pens and they shit a brick so bad they don't even make the playoffs? I mean, I'm not saying we're going there yet, but we're going in that direction, gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, as long as the Islanders continue to be shitty, they've lost 6 in a row, then
They're helping
we'll
us.
be okay.
Well, I think the Penguins play Carolina, 3 more
Three
times?
It's like all
times this
Metro
month.
teams.
Yeah.
They play all Metro teams down the stretch.
Yeah.
So control your own destiny.
Take care of business.
It'll be an interesting
Be
last month.
Embrace and insert.
All right.
Moving on.
That was all I had.
It's an insert.
Your will.
Yeah.
Boys, let's move on from that and go to our
Yes, please.
Well, actually, my second favorite because I love Wincow's money because I want you to lose this week, Kittleberger. But
Thanks,
before we
Brandon.
get there,
Someone please take.
weekly picks. And this week we are excited. Everyone out there, go download the Hockey Players Club app.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Makes it way easier to play. But either download the app, both on the App Store.
Hold on. Let's announce that one more time. We have a motherfucking app. Woo! We have an app.
And even Matt can use it.
We have an app.
It's that user-friendly.
Go to that App Store, search Hockey Players Club, download the app, make your weekly picks, tell us what you think, give us a 5-star review, tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your school teacher.
Get your app off the couch, okay, and go download this app.
Yeah,
you bet your app it is the best thing you've ever seen.
And for Matt's sake, put a damn profile picture in, or he'll get all panties in a bunch.
This is true. He'll track you down.
Pretty soon, hopefully, I'll have the ability to chirp you if you don't have a player profile.
You can always chirp people.
He will come to your house and he will insult you to your face.
But if you're too lazy to download the app, you also can play on our website, hockeyplayersclub.com/weekly-picks. 9 questions predicting NHL action. Boys, this past week, John Donovan scored 28 out of 30 points.
That's crazy.
I mean, he missed one 2-point question, which actually I should have looked this up, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Kittleberger. I can't believe you got this right. One of the questions, which was supposed to be a gimme 2 points, who's going to win the Lightning Red Wings game this past week? 2 or 3 people of everyone that played said
The Red Wings.
Everyone said, I'm sorry, 3 people said the Red Wings. I'm sorry. Brandon got
Acid flashbag.
mind your business. Yeah, and that has to be the 2 he missed. Nonetheless, John Donovan's taking home a free gift card. And boys, the March leaderboard's heating up a little bit. But we still have a few weeks to figure out who's going to win that free X1X hockey stick. Last week as a crew, I did come in first place. No surprise there. By one.
We all did okay.
Not bad. Schwartzy got his picks in this time. That app's really helping him out.
I actually missed a day.
All this time we heard about, if only I had an app, I could play
Once
this
I have
game.
the app, I'm going to get the picks in every time. By
the way, I just want to give credit where credit's due. Matt Donovan has won the week, I think, twice, and John Donovan has won a free month too. He won February of 2019. So this guy's a stud.
Are we 100% sure this isn't Rubio?
Positive. I wish. I would take full credit for any of my own.
But
I'm sure he's much better looking than Rubio.
He's an OG weekly picks player.
And probably like half the age.
I think even less.
And a couple inches taller.
Moving on. Boys, as we always do, predicting 3 questions on the air. Custer, I'm coming to you first. 2 teams that are pretty close points-wise. Who's going to win the Senators versus Kings game on Wednesday?
Well, I've dubbed this the shit bowl for the night of Wednesday. I'm going to go with the LA Kings. They're doing a lot of all right things right now.
Kittleberger?
As I said, 7-2-1 their last 10, won their last 5 in a row, going with LA.
Schwartzy.
Hard not to go with the Kings.
I'm just going with the old Kittleberger method. Everyone's going with the Kings. I'm going with the Senators. And the Senators actually haven't been that bad.
No,
5-4-1 in their last 10, doing surprising things. Schwartzy, coming to you first on this one for 5 points. How many shots on goal will Alex Ovechkin record Thursday night against the Red Wings? One choice is 2 or less, 3 shots, 4 shots, 5 shots. 6 or more shots.
Shot.
I have to say, I absolutely love this question. I was talking about Ovi back when he was approaching 700. We were talking about his career shots on goal.
Yeah.
The guy's averaged almost 5 shots on goal over 1,100 NHL games.
It's crazy.
Which is just friggin' ridiculous. In his last 5, he has 0, 5, 2, 4, and 4, which is a little bit less than his typical numbers. But I'm gonna go big or go home, and I'm going 6 or more.
Ooh, aggressive. Kostra.
5.
So, as we've established, the Red Wings are a big pile of dog shit. And so I think Ovechkin's going to be trying to get as many shots on goal as possible. I will also win 6 or more.
Oh, I like that logic. I previously went 5, but I like that logic. I'll hold with my 5. But you might be onto something there, Kittleberg.
Hey, and for the record, if you look close enough, you just might see me and my team at the Capitals Red Wings game on Thursday. We'll be in D.C. attending the game. And,
That's cool.
I don't
Are
think
you
it's a
guys
lot
going to
of
be
away
those
arenas.
coronavirus testers? Like, no one else is going to be there, but they're going to bring you guys in? And
Maybe. It might just be us in one section, and that's the only people in the arena. But it should be fun.
Games
That'll be
in
sweet.
Detroit?
No, D.C.
Oh.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
Oh, nice. That's a good bar
Have you
to
been
go
to a game there?
Nope.
Apparently it's in Chinatown.
Okay. I
For
like
good
Chinese
things.
food.
Rock the red.
It's not good for...
Corona?
Skip it. Skip all the comments you're about to say. Just ignore them.
Moving on.
Did everyone get? Oh yeah, we all picked everyone. All right, for 3 points,
5.
Kittle coming to you. No, that was for 5 points. The next one's for 3
Reminder for
points.
the
He was saying
listeners.
his choice from the last question because he's dumb.
Oh, okay. Which game will have the fewest goals scored on Thursday? We got Buffalo playing Montreal, Carolina playing New Jersey, and we got Vegas playing Minnesota.
So I went Buffalo and Montreal. I feel like Carey Price can do pretty well typically against the Sabres, don't have that much firepower. And Buffalo's been better defensively, especially of late. Carter Hutton's kind of gotten his head out of his ass. And Linus Ullmark just came back healthy. So whoever's in net for them, I think is going to be all right.
I like it. Custrin.
I'm going with Vegas and Minnesota. 2 great goalies, regardless of who plays for Vegas, and one in Minnesota and Devin Dubnyk, and I think a low-scoring contest.
Schwartzy.
I'm going to go with the Carolina-New Jersey game. 2 teams that don't put up a lot of goals. 2 teams that play kind of a tight defensive style, with the exception of New Jersey. So I guess one team.
50% ain't bad.
I'm with Kittleberger on this one. Buffalo versus Montreal for the fewest goals on Thursday.
Give me the points.
Last reminder for our listeners, go download that app.
Download the app!
It's on the App Store, on the Google Play Store, all that good stuff. Hockey Players Club, or go to the website, hockeyplayersclub.com/weekly-picks. Play, you might win a gift card, maybe you win a free HBC X1X hockey stick. You know?
Hasn't happened for me yet, Brandon, but I am always hopeful.
Well, hope in one hand, shit in the other. See which one fills up first.
Right? Story of my childhood. My mom told me that all the time.
That explains so much.
Come on, look!
Call me old shithand.
The shit hand is full again.
And I didn't get anything for Christmas. But I got shit in my hand.
Moving on.
Have we derailed completely?
I think it's that time, Matt.
It's time for Win Kyle's Money! Alright, this week's contestant is none other than John Daw from Calgary, Alberta. Our first international contestant.
Oh, yeah.
International.
How you doing, John? Do you play in the beer leagues around Calgary still?
I do.
How many teams are in your league? Is it pretty competitive there?
Yeah, it's pretty competitive. It's just state alumni, it's a university thing, so a couple good players in there still. It's competitive enough to keep you in shape, right?
That's all you're looking for.
Exactly.
Alright, well, considering you've played, and I think you're going to be a good competition for Kyle, here's how the rules work for Win Kyle's Money. You'll both be asked the same 7 questions. You'll have a minute to answer those 7 questions. You can come back and pass on any of the questions that you're stumped on, and whoever gets the most questions correct in the shortest amount of time wins. Kyle is 15-1 on this season. Last week he went 5 out of 7 in 59 seconds. This guy is about as big of a nerd as you could come across. So, and if you're if you're good enough to defeat Kyle, you win a $20 HBC gift card. Kyle, why don't you go to your silent chambers?
All right.
Get lost.
All right, so Cuss will do the time for the questions.
Yes, he will.
And he will let you know when you have 10 seconds left, just so you have a good idea. The clock will start when I'm done asking the first question.
Sounds good.
Ready to go?
Ready to go.
Here we go. Leon Draisaitl recorded his 110th point in his 68th game this season, which is the 8th fewest games to 110 points in NHL history. This player only needed 43 games to reach 110 points, which is the fastest in NHL history. Excluding shootout deciding goals, this team has scored at least 6 goals in a game this year for an NHL leading 10th time this season. This player holds the record for most wins by an American-born goalie. Montreal Canadiens legend Henri Richard, who recently passed away, was nicknamed what? This goalie, who played 16 NHL seasons, has the most career shutouts among non-Canadian born goalies.
10 seconds.
10 seconds, hurry up. Mika Zibanejad is from this country. Done. Alright.
Well, these are tough questions.
Tough questions, no big deal. No big deal. We'll see how Kyle
It's
fares.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't have the answers, but
Yeah, you're healthy competition. Kyle is not sporting his usual hockey garb, but he does have his slap shot glasses. Different koozie than last week. He went with a Labatt Blue hockey sock Pittsburgh Penguin shell.
That makes it up.
All right,
if
Kyle,
he pays for it.
ready to rock, kid?
Yeah.
All right, he's going for 16-1, folks. Let's see how he does. Leon Draisaitl recorded his 110th point in his 68th game this season, which is the 8th fewest games to 110 points in NHL history. This player only needed 43 games to reach 110 points, which is the fastest in NHL history.
Wayne Gretzky.
Excluding shootout deciding goals, this team has scored at least 6 goals in a game this year for an NHL leading 10th time this season.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
This player holds the record for most wins by an American-born goaltender.
Pass.
Montreal Canadiens legend Henri Richard, who recently passed away, was nicknamed what?
Oh, Jesus. The Pocket Rocket.
This goalie, who played 16 NHL seasons, has the most career shutouts among non-Canadian-born goalies.
Dominic Hasek.
Having done it 13 times, this player has recorded the most career 30-plus goal seasons in Chicago Blackhawks history.
Stan Mikita.
Mika Zibanejad is from this country.
Czech Republic.
Stop!
No, fuck. He's from, sorry. No.
Oh, he has the
I
one.
got the one
He
that
has
goes back
the
to. Hold on. What was it? American.
It started. You got 13 seconds on the start.
American-born goaltender holds the record for most wins.
10 seconds.
Connor Hellebuck.
Stop.
And Mika Zibanejad from fucking Sweden.
53.
Both got the.
Alright, well, yeah, you both got 2 correct, but Kyle did it in a shorter amount of time.
Oh!
By the skin of his
For a change, a quick session works in his favor.
Oh man, what a...
No doubt.
You know I got Zibanejad wrong. Fuck, that's stupid.
Well, like we do every week, we'll go through the questions, John, and the answers. The Draisaitl question, the fastest player to 110 points was Mario Lemieux, and he did it in 43 games. He's also the second fastest at 44. Number 3 is Yager at 59. So 3 Penguins.
Wow, surprisingly, Gretzky's not one of the top 30.
Yeah, Gretzky is number 6 at 65.
Oh, shit.
So that speaks to the season Draisaitl's having. He did it in 68 games.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Excluding shootout deciding goals, this team has scored at least 6 goals in a game this year. That leads the league. That's the Vancouver Canucks.
Wow. Okay.
This player holds the record for most wins by an American-born goalie. Ryan Miller, 386.
Oh, I was thinking single season.
I guess Richter. I guess earlier today.
Oh, was that guessed it too?
I was also wrong.
I don't know why I thought he asked single season. I thought he said most
So you guys both got the Henri Richard answer right. His nickname was Pocket Rocket.
Way before the vibrator ever came.
He was 14 years younger and 3 inches shorter than Maurice the Rocket Rashard. And that's kind of where the name came from. This goalie played 16 NHL seasons, holds the record for most career shutouts, non-Canadian. Dominic Hasek. That was correct. You got that. And Hasek has 82 shutouts. Second on that one would be Henrik Lundqvist with 64. Chicago Blackhawks history, the guy that has the most 30-plus goal seasons, he's done it 13 times, that's Bobby Hall.
Damn it. I was between Nikita and Hall.
Yeah. And then Mika Zibanejad is from Sweden.
Both of you got that.
Both you guys got that one wrong.
Hell of an effort, John. What's that, Mike?
Oh, maybe John did get the Sweden one. You got Sweden and and you got Pocket Rocket. That's right.
Yeah.
But hell of a job, good effort, man. It rarely comes down to the time tiebreaker.
That's why we do the time, though.
Yeah.
If not, we would have questions.
You gotta lose sooner or later.
That's right, John. We're looking forward to it.
Appreciate it, man. If you're ever in the Berg, hit us up. You sound like we'd have some fun over some beers.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your time.
See you,
man.
Thanks, man.
Alright, thanks a lot, guys.
Oh, I can't
That was a
believe
rough one today.
you hung on by the hair on your chinny chin balls.
But as they say, the really good teams know how to win when they're not.
Yeah,
You still squeaked out a W, not with your best performance.
I was worried for you there.
Yeah, me too. And we got to the third on
I know shit, man.
He was rattled.
He's a goddamn goose egg.
I really thought you would ask single season for an American-born goalie. I didn't realize you said career.
Yeah, blame it on me.
I just did. Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now.
Matt was so impressed with John's effort, he asked him out.
That sounds like it's more fun than any of you.
Sounds like a good guy. I'm not going to reach around.
Well, you're a good guy, good time. Maybe motorboats.
I was thinking about this with the win cause money as well. So I've been saving you guys a lot of money over there by not having to give out $20 gift cards. That's got to be at least worth a stick or something.
We could talk to somebody.
It's not like we don't have 3 dozen sticks in the other room.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't know that. We'll take care of it.
All right, put it under consideration.
What are you, junior 40 flex?
We'll bring it up to the next, bring it up to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, it's nice, good pop.
Yeah.
Good eye talk.
Cheers.
We'll see everybody next week.